So what you need to know is that most searches in 2026 are going to be answered by AI before anyone so much as clicks on a website. My goal in this video is to give you the 6 plays that keep your brand visible and ultimately get that conversion from AI search to you. So the first play here is shifting from keywords to entities and the topical depth. I remember one of the first ever websites that I did SEO for was this plumbing company. And I spent so much time focused on concepts like keyword density, which is this idea of trying to keep the keywords to ideally 2 to 3% of the content on that page. And that used to work as a treat back then. I need you to think about AI search systems, and they care about entities, they care about topics, relationships, and context. They do not care how many times a phrase appears on a page. So you need to understand, are you the clearest, most complete source on this topic or entity across the web? So let me give you the shortcut for these topics. So what I've been doing and what you should do is build one clear topical hub. So each of those should have a pillar page for each core topic. So if you're wondering what the hell does that mean, an example would be the complete guide to running shoes in 2026. And from that hub, then you're gonna link it to focused pages, things like flat feet, trail shoes, recovery shoes, cushioning, sizing, care, and then interlinking all of those between each other. What this structure does is it tells Google, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity that you actually understand the topic. And it's also gonna keep your visitors on your site longer, which improves your engagement. The second shortcut here is just to map these entities. So listing the brands, locations, product types, conditions, use cases. So work these into your content in super plain language. Avoid stuffing. Aim for natural coverage. When I stopped trying to sound super smart in my content and think about the next big exploding piece, and I started thinking about writing like a 5th grader, that's when my content really started to do well. The final shortcut that I've got for you here is to answer real questions directly. So collecting questions from support tickets, sales calls, things like people also ask, Reddit, your own customers, which is a crazy concept. You want to turn each real question into its own section with a clear heading and a concise answer in the first 1 to 2 sentences. I got bored one day just going through this, and something that came up, well, to be honest, I just wanted to call some clients. I just thought it'd be a fun thing to do. So I started calling up some clients and I asked them this exact thing. What are some questions you had before you started working with us? And one of the biggest ones was pricing. So I thought that's a kind of a hard thing to write about, but I wrote this page on pricing up an SEO campaign. And what's crazy is one of the biggest publications in our industry is Backlinko, and they actually picked it up and did their own piece on it. And it just goes to show, if you do something really well, something simple, and you get real customer questions, it can really take off. And now it ranks super well and it comes up in all of our AI answer stuff. The second place is to build author and brand authority, but in the right way. So in AI search, average content from a trusted entity is gonna be great content from a ghost any day of the freaking week. AI systems ask 2 things that you need to know. The first is, what does this page even say? And the second is, who the hell's saying it and can we trust them? If your brand and the authors look anonymous, your ceiling's gonna be low no matter how strong that actual content is. So my business lived and died on referrals. People heard about us and I made one call and they signed. It honestly felt solid, the good old days, the easy times. But over time, as we started to speak to bigger and bigger brands, those questions start to shift. Instead of when can I start, it became who's on your team? And things like, do you have case studies? I assumed that word of mouth was enough, but it wasn't. My site had no proof, no authority, no visible expertise, and competitors were just running circles around me. Even warm leads wanted to see credibility, not hear about it. That moment that I added real social proof, that hesitation totally disappeared. Here's how to change that for you. You're gonna start showing real expertise on the page. We're gonna add author bios with clear roles, years of experience, and domain knowledge. We're gonna add some headshots, not AI headshots, like real headshots. We're gonna link to any speaking, interviews, or any previous work, including specific results, not vague claims. We're gonna back it all up with these case studies and proof. In those case studies, it's gonna be real numbers, it's gonna have actual timelines and context. And refer to those case studies in your content using phrases like, in this campaign, we saw, and across 120 accounts, we saw. Then give real outcomes. Once we've done that, we're gonna start earning those brand mentions, not just links. We're gonna get quoted on podcasts, industry blogs, and ideally some niche media. Some of those aren't gonna link, that's totally fine. online because mentions still reinforce, especially in this day and age, your entity and your brand in those models. There's a video on this here if you want to check that out. Super important as well that we stay consistent across our different platforms. So use the same author names, the same photos, the same positioning on our site, our LinkedIn, our YouTube. Make sure not to fragment that identity because AI checks across these different surfaces. So the public proof plus that consistent identity plus a little bit of visual experience to combine your secret 3 herbs and spices is what's going to shift you from a random site to a trusted entity in those AI systems. The third play is going to be writing for AI answers. In almost every data set that I've seen, AI search traffic looks tiny and the AI source revenue is actually far larger than what people expect. So users research in ChatGPT or Google AI mode. Then they often go direct, they search a brand or they click from another channel. Analytics misses most of that. So last month I was working with this up and coming, tech law firm that produced these long, detailed articles. Brilliant work. Super sharp analysis, they were getting tons of traffic. We also had this simple glossary section which explained basic legal terms. But when AI overviews started popping up, something really flipped. The long form articles started dropping, like plummeting, and the glossary pages were climbing. And I asked why. But those glossaries nailed what those AI answers were looking for. Short passages, clear definitions, direct answers on that first line of the text that was there. So those models could instantly lift those sections. And that was the moment that I realized AI doesn't reward the most impressive content. It's rewarding the content with the clearest answers. It makes sense. So make your content the easiest option for AI to quote. Unintentionally, I did this and it was the perfect play. So use your question and answer format. We're going to turn key queries into direct questions in the headings. So an example off the top of my head is, what are the best SEO tools for beginners in 2026? We're going to answer in the first 1 to 2 sentences with a really clear, direct reply. And then we can expand. That makes it super trivial for AI to lift those answers into summaries. AI answers lean heavily on clear facts and those structured comparisons. So use the hell out of tables. That's something that I've learned, and I always think of how can I put more tables in this? Compare options directly. So calling out pros, cons. A great hack actually is best fit use cases and listing a few of them. And the more you write like a helpful, concise expert answering a direct question, the more often AI is going to choose your content as a source. The fourth play is all about making sure that your site's machine ready. Here's how to make sure that your site's super easy for AI and humans. The first thing I want you to do is use schema consistently. If you're not sure, schema is that little bit of code that wraps around your content to help computers better understand it. You can add FAQ, how-to, product, review, and article schema wherever it makes sense. I'm gonna link some guides to get more info on those here, as well as a GPT that we created that's gonna help you create those. You've got to keep it valid and simple. So think of schema like a plain label for your content. It tells machines what the page is for and how to use it. You can also use multiple formats on your key pages. Some other things that are going to help are short videos, visuals and diagrams, simple charts and tables. What that does, multimodal content sends strong signals of depth and clarity. But if you think about it like a human, because I hope you're watching this as a human, you're going to look at that content and go, oh wow, I love seeing graphs and different things like the little video animations in this video that keep your attention. Make sure that's in your content. Simple. Visual content like that sends strong signals of depth and clarity. The last thing we're doing as part of this play is cleaning up any user experience basics. Fast load, like actual load time, not page speed score, is important. And what I mean by that is when you pull up your website on your phone or desktop, does it feel slow? Speed that up. That's bad user experience. But don't follow core web vitals like it's the Holy Bible or something. The biggest hack I have is pulling up a website, or your website, hopefully, and looking at the different elements and using it like a human. Things that don't make sense or you can't find, or look, you can imagine when you pull up a mobile website and there's just things that you're just like, what the hell were they thinking? Make note of those, fix those up, or send it to your team. That's the biggest part of user experience, honestly. The fifth play I'm super excited for because this is around optimizing for the new consideration phase. And this is the part that people are missing. So AI has changed what mid-funnel means. So traditional discovery, research, and validation steps are now automated. Buyers used to do their own research, and now LLMs do it for them. This is the biggest shift since mobile search, and it pumps me up. I was sitting in a cafe last week, and I watched someone research running shoes entirely inside ChatGPT, looking at reviews, the comparisons, the price checks, and 10 minutes later, I'm watching this whole thing. It might have looked a little creepy, but they typed the brand URL directly and then bought it. Google wasn't involved at all. And that moment showed exactly how that mid-funnel worked in real time to me. So the whole thing's changed. This is what old B2B used to look like. It used to be brand messaging controlled by your website, and it had minimal real thought leadership. The new B2B is AI's perception of your brand. And so thought leadership becomes a big ranking factor, and AI-assisted comparisons are the default, like I said earlier, even for B2B. B2C's changed as well, because the old B2C was honestly simple purchase decisions. There was very little peer input. And now with the new B2C, you've got instant AI-powered comparison, multi-source validation from YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, fed straight into the LLMs, and AI pulls all of that into one view. It doesn't rely on your website. It checks everything with your name on it. And this is why I believe that offsite signals matter more now than ever. These are the list of some of the new signals that I'm seeing for both B2B and B2C. So the new B2B signals that you need to think about are YouTube, podcasts, awards, case studies, like underline the hell out of that, and B2B review platforms like Clutch or other platforms. The new B2C signals, you've got Reddit, TikTok, and Instagram, there's review searches, you've got product FAQs, and your classics, your Trustpilots and your product hunts. You cannot hack this, you cannot fake this. Trust me, I've tried. You have to invest in building real digital authority and really go across those different consideration models. Without that, you're going to get buried in the search and consideration phase, and your competitors will be the ones getting all those benefits. And because this is brand new, most people aren't doing this, so you can do the basics like I spoke about here and get ahead of 99% of people very quick. The last play I've got for you guys for doing SEO in 2026 is to change your SEO workflow and metrics for AI search. I'm seeing a ton of people trying to bolt AI SEO onto some 2018 SEO workflow. You need to adjust both how you work and what you measure. This is a recent story. I had a client come in about a month ago in absolute panic. I got called in because traffic was flat and every dashboard made it look like things were going backwards. And this is a big billion-dollar company. But when I actually sat down and looked at their real numbers, their new business was up 32% year on year from organic and non-brand. They just couldn't believe it because their instinct was to trust the traffic chart, not the revenue. And when I sat down and went with them and showed them what we'd worked on for the past 2 years, tightening the structure, having clearer intent, and focused optimization on the pages that actually drove inquiries, when we looked at that, we saw that those pages held positions and kept converting even as buyer behavior was shifting to AI tools and direct visits. Their blog post was what had less clicks, but their conversions were higher than ever. So it proved this point for me: don't fear those zero-click alarmists. Old metrics make you think you're losing when you're actually winning. Your new KPI is not only rankings, it is citations and, more importantly, revenue influenced by AI search. So test your content in AI search. Paste your key pages into ChatGPT or any other LLM and ask to summarize this for a buyer that wants blank. So if that summary misses your main points, then your content is not clear enough, and rewrite it until the model captures your key ideas in 3 to 4 lines. The other thing I want you to think about is how to use AI agents to scale your execution, not your thinking. Keep humans focused on the direction, the Q&A, and super importantly, on unique perspectives and experiences that they have or you have if you're publishing them. The last thing is around blogging and publishing consistently. In the past month alone, I've had so many people tell me they're not doing a blog anymore because they're not getting any traffic from it. But blogs, guides, and explainers still dominate AI citations. You train AI on your brand every time that you publish something. If you don't, it's gonna learn from your competitors instead. Now, I don't know about you, but I want it to learn from me because that means it's gonna cite me more and I'm gonna get more authority than my competitors. SEO in 2026 is a clear shift in focus. To rehash the 6 plays we had from keywords to entities and topical depth, depth. We went from anonymous content to recognized experts and real brand authority. We're shifting from blog posts written for clicks to answers written for AI systems. From cluttered pages to sites actually built for machines to pass at speed. From relying on on-site SEO to winning that new consideration phase across every single platform. From old SEO checklists to workflows and metrics built around AI visibility. If you like this content, subscribe and follow along. I'm going to be producing more content for younger Harry or people like you that I wish I had earlier in my SEO journey. I've got some awesome content coming out in the next week around the consideration era, and I hope to see you in that video.